Yeah. Of course. Well, I'll see you tonight. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, bye. Oh, hi, gamers. I didn't see you there. Just on the phone with your mum. She seems really excited about this video, weirdly excited about this video. But I think I'll just make it for you. Just giving off some vibes, if you know what I mean. Well, welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Patrick, where I make videos requested by your mum for you. And today we're going to talk about the wondrous world of Pokemon Remakes. So let's set the stage a little bit, shall we? Now, the Pokemon Company International is the single largest media franchise in the world, and it's not even close. Disney Mickey Mouse, more like Disney Mickey Stupid Broke, the Pokemon Company is mind-bogglingly wealthy. Just to put it into perspective, with the value of the Pokemon franchise, you could feed Nico Avocado 2 full meals and still have $88 billion left over. I know, unfathomable. And so you would think, with that sort of money, that Game Freak would be able to hit every time with their remakes. But alas, reality is often incredibly disappointing. Not all the time, but most of the time. We both know that they don't hit. They don't always hit. In fact, they miss a lot. Now that the Unova remake hype season has started, why don't we take a little stroll down memory lane, divvy up the good and the bad in Pokemon remakes throughout history. See what really made them good, what made them bad, and maybe after that we'll take a little gander into the future of Pokemon remakes, you know? Join the hype train, and maybe look at a little Chinese leak, a little rumor, a little speculation, doesn't hurt nobody. Nobody except your mom. I think the best place to start with this is with our exemplar candidate, just so we can sort of grasp what a good remake is. Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you know it, one of the best games you've ever played, maybe. This remake of Generation 2's Gold, Silver, and Crystal is possibly the best thing that ever graced my tiny little Nintendo DS Lite Mario Edition screen. It had everything you could want from a Pokemon remake. Well, everything you could want in a 2009 Generation 4 Pokemon remake, but it had it all. It certainly has the 3 pillars I look for in a good Pokemon remake. What? 3 pillars, you hear me say? What are those 3 pillars? I hear you ask. Well, great thing that you're here for me to tell you this. I mean, I was just telling your mom, but I'll let you in on it too, as her son, daughter, them thing, as their child. All right, pillar 1. Modernization. This pillar is all about getting the remake up to speed with all the current specs and features of the current generation. So all the latest moves, all the latest Pokemon mechanics, maybe some optimization from the originals like bug fixes, movement speed fixes, load times, whatever, you know, visuals. This is like the bare minimum pillar. This is like, if this isn't there, this ain't a remake, is it? All right, pillar 2, reimagination. So this is more of like an aesthetic and general category, but from this pillar, I kind of just want to see a more fully realized or a fully realized version of the original region in the remake. Maybe areas don't have to be exactly visually one-to-one, or the story doesn't have to flow exactly beat to beat the same way. Stuff like that. You'll see as we move on to the game some clear examples of what reimagination is, but you can just kind of... Pillar 3. Now this is the big Mac Daddy section, the large and in charge section, the 3rd pillar. This section, I think, is the most important part for a remake. It sort of sits on top of the modernization feature, because when you modernize, you do sort of expand the features from the original, but this is features that go beyond. This is normally new content. This is just new things to do that weren't in the original, that aren't necessarily just modernization. So, you know, as an example, in Heart Gold might be the new area off to the west of Cianwood. When you go up, you know, Route 47 in the Pokemon Safari, that's expansion. We'll get to more of that later, but you know, that's expansion, new content. In my mind, this is the most anticipated part of every remake. Like, everyone expects to go back to the old region and do old region things, but everyone gets really hyped for the new stuff. This is the new stuff. But like I was saying before, I think Heart Gold, Soul Silver knocks all of these pillars out of the park, but not out of the structural integrity of the remake the pillars are holding up, if you catch. You understand? All right. In these games, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, we have complete modernization. All the features from the Platinum engine are there, and they've even been improved upon in some cases, like load times and health bars and a bunch of stuff. It's just clean. It's all modern. We have all 467 moves that have been introduced up until Gen 4. We also have, shockingly to Pokemon fans today, all 493 Pokemon that existed from Gen 1 to Gen 4. Crazy, I know. You think the idea of the game is to catch them all? Masuda thinks you don't want to do that. In terms of like changes from Gold, Silver, and Crystal to now, obviously the visuals are updated, but that's more of like a reimagination pillar moment. In terms of game mechanics, we have the physical special split, DVs to IVs. There's also a bunch of new items from Gen 3 and 4 thrown back in there, obviously. A bunch of stuff. Basically, the game is fully modernized, which is, like I said before, this is like the baseline pillar. If it's not up to date, you're disappointing me and your mom. So that's pillar 1. Big fat check for pillar 1, modernized. All right, pillar 2, reimagination. Oh my goodness, this game looks so good. It's one of the best looking Pokemon games I've ever played. They've almost perfected the pixel art in this game. It looks so good. The colors, oh my goodness. It's like all the goodness of the 2D, 3D look from Platinum, but they finally picked a good color palette. Like, not to piss on Sinnoh too much, but Jesus, look at this grass. Look at this grass color. It looks like neon green. Whose grass looks like that? It's like painful for the eyes. I love Sinnoh, but now there are a couple places I want to take you to fully like understand the extent of how good the reimagination of Johto is in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. The first place, and anyone who's played this game would know, is Ecruteak City. This place is a whole vibe and a half. Every single building, every single structure, the interiors, the dance theater, everything, it looks so good. The Bellchime Trail, look at these trees. It's like a whole separate location now. It looks so good. The color's so good, it's so amazing. I just want to sit here for hours. There's this GIF that I just used to watch all the time. It's like Espeon and Umbreon just like chilling there. It's so good. I love this place so much. It just looks chef's kiss. Kissable. I would kiss it if I was a chef, but I'm not a chef. All right, New Barktown 2. They put wind turbines there, which is a reimagination. I guess they used to power the Pokemon plant, the research lab. That's cool. That's like world building. That's reimagination. That's beautiful. Let's just pick a random city on the map. Goldenrod, let's just compare these two for a second. Let's just compare these two. Gold, Silver, Goldenrod, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Goldenrod. It's golden and it looks so good. It's so immersive, city-like, it's sick. There's the train line. I'm a chef. They've also reimagined some of the larger story points, so they put a much bigger emphasis in Heart Gold and Soul Silver on the legendary events. The Kimono Girls play more of a role. Ho-Oh and Lugia have a much more fleshed out events, and you have to do them now. Like before you could just do them whenever, but now you like have to do them before you go battle the Indigo League. It's really sick. They also, all the events look really awesome. Ho-Oh flying, see I was a Heart Gold baby. The Ho-Oh flying thing, iconic. They've also gone and given Team Rocket, like fleshed out their world a little bit more. So all the executives, they all have like names and dedicated sprites now. I mean, like, look at this guy. Look at him, all right? Tell me that Petrel doesn't look like he's down to diddle some kitties. That was terrifying to me as a 10-year-old kid who did not want to be diddled. Petrel, terrifying. And I can thank the wonderful minds at Game Freak for reimagining Team Rocket and giving them new sprites looking cool. I didn't want to be diddled. I think the only mid part of the reimagination is Lyra. I mean, she's new, she adds new scenes and content into the game, I guess, because you've got like a counterpart friend rival now, but she's kind of useless. And why didn't they just use Crystal? Like her character design was fine. Not that that really matters. She's just kind of mid. She ain't no Barry is all I'm saying. Finally, hearing all the music DS-ified is ear orgasmic. I love the DS music. I compose in that style myself as a musician, not a chef, musician. I just love it. Even the new stuff like Route 47. Not a chef, but I would if I could. This is what game reimagination should look like, all right? Heart Gold, Soul Silver, at the gates. All right, expansion. There is so much new content in this game. It's kind of crazy. We have the Battle Frontier off of Olivine. It's got all the Battle Frontier features from Platinum. I mean, it technically is exactly the same Battle Frontier from Platinum, but it's still expanded Johto content, not in the original games. There's the Pokemon Safari and Route 47, which you've already talked about. That's just new content. That's fun. There's also the Pokeathlon, like 10 bajillion minigames that I actually used to play as a kid because, I don't know, like repetitively tapping on my DS screen really hard was something that fixed my AdHad brain, calmed me down. I don't know. It was fun for me. I wouldn't do it these days because that's so much effort to do something that doesn't make my Pokemon be good. But it was fun as a kid. Well, you were a kid. You probably are a kid. And I'm talking to your mother. Get a grip. Not of that. But the biggest piece of expanded content, the thing that Generation 4 is known for, and is all over Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Post-game, overworld events for mythical and legendary Pokemon. Oh my goodness. This game has so many, it's almost too much. No, it's not. Please. We've got the Celebi event in Ilex Forest where we travel back in time and see Giovanni beat up his son, Silver, for not committing crimes, calling him a goofy goober. Then we get to travel again in time, and then we get to actually fight Giovanni. That was sick. You don't get that. You don't get that now with modern Pokemon. That's all I'm saying. You have the Enigma Stone and Pokemon Flan Club event. Flan Club. You have the Enigma Stone and the Pokemon Fan Club event for Latios and Latias with bloomin' Steven Stone, who is in the game, because why not? Because have everyone there. Avengers of Pokemon, Heart Gold and Soul Silver. That's right, Cynthia's in the game too, for my favorite event of all time, with the Space-Time Trio. You get the event Arceus, then you go to the Ruins of Alpha, you get teleported to a new place with Cynthia, and you get to see stock photos. Tell me any other Pokemon game that has stock photos in it. If that's not expansion, I don't know what is. So that's Heart Gold and Soul Silver, our shining temple of Pokemon Remake pillars, but let's quickly run through some other examples of great Pokemon Remake pillaring. I'm gonna pill you and your mom. Not you, just your mom. I'm gonna pill your mom. Get pillared. We're gonna look at some good Pokemon Remake pillaring. All right, Fire Red and Leaf Green, modernization, mostly, check. The only criticism is Game Freak's weird way of handling how Pokemon who are in the regional decks of Kanto, but evolve into the national decks like Golbat work, where you just have your Pokemon constantly evolve and fail until you get the national decks. Like, what? That's so weird. But apart from that, they did a really good job. It's all modernized. You know, you've got the DVs to IVs again, you've got Versus Seeker, that's great. That's just great. Gameplay improvement, fun, good. That's almost just featured good. Good. You know, everything was better. All the bug fixes were gone too, which, you know, you would think is an improvement, but there are some very specific people who vehemently defend all those bugs as a feature. Now, the reimagination of Fire Red and Leaf Green was sparse. I mean, there are new graphics, the cities come to life in proper color now, but it's pretty much smack bang, same experience. The main improvement, though, for sure, is the music. That gym leader battle. More Chef's Kiss, this time with the microphone. I know. All right, expansion, not much during the main story. I know you can visit 3 of the islands, but in the post-game, you get access to all the Sevi Islands, which is basically just a ton of new areas where you get access to new item, all of the national dex Pokemon that aren't available in the original Gen 3 games. And then there's a tiny bit of story expansion, or like side story stuff. It's cool. Like what I just said was incredibly reductive. There is a lot of stuff there, but you know what it is? It's expansion, new content. New content, expansion, equals good Pokemon Remake, because Pillar, Fire Red, Leaf Green, good game. As for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, I mean, pretty much the same things can be said. Modernization, up to date. You know, it's got all the Gen 6 features. New areas, new music, new content, new look. It has the friggin' Delta episode, Pokemon's first proper like DLC expansion. It's got the tie-in to the Gen 6 story with like the Mega Stones, Mega Energy stuff. Another all-round good remake. It hits all the 3 pillars, modernization, reimagination, and expansion, mostly. I mean, Oras marks the beginning of the fall in my mind for one big reason. Do you remember in Emerald how there was this little old post-game thing called the Battle Frontier? You know, really insignificant. But you could go inside like a Survivor, a temple, a pyramid thing, and Pokemon Battle. It was sick. It was sick. And you know it wasn't in Oras, you know, a remake of the Hoenn games, which you would expect to have all of the content from the original Hoenn games? That's right, the Battle Frontier. It's gone. Now, to me, this is a pretty significant event in Pokemon Remake history. Because to my knowledge, this is the first time that Pokemon's actually taken out core features and content that were present in the original games, and they've taken them out of the remakes because Masuda said that people won't play it, but like you could still put it in. Most people shit in the toilet, but you don't have to do that. That's not a great example, but now I know what you're thinking. The community backlash about this must have been insane, intense, violent. And you would think, because of that, the Pokemon Company would never let Game Freak do something like this ever again. Never let them remove a feature again. Oh boy, do I have some news for you. You're right. Game Freak never again in a remake removed content, because the Pokemon Company decided to give the next remake, the Generation 4 remakes, to this little known company, ILCA or ILCA, which at this point in time in the gaming community were really only known being hired out by other companies to help with CG. And also, this is real by the way, they developed the Hatsune Miku Dominoes app, but that's all they're known for. Hatsune Miku, they're known for Hatsune Miku. Now I get, as a game developer, you have to start your own solo project, your own, an ILCA only project at some point. But with the biggest media franchise of all time, the Pokemon Company entrusted their franchise, which has great brand rep, has affected billions of people across the world, with Hatsune Miku Company. Domino's Pizza Miku Company. They got Pizza Miku Company to remake my most beloved generation. How dare they? Silly. I'm mad at you, TPCI. I'm watching you. I'm gonna get your mum too. All right, we all know it. Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. How does it stack up against the 3 pillars of Pokemon remakes? I'll tell you right now, not very good. These pillars are gonna do a bad job of holding up anything, let alone one of people's most beloved Pokemon games. These are Play-Doh, these are dry Play-Doh pillars. And I'm about to step on them with your mum. But seriously, they're crumbling my hope in the future of the Pokemon franchise, is what's going on. All right, modernization, we have faster health bars, and we have faster surfing, and we have a kind of up-to-date battle system. Kind of, like not really, but we have a kind of up-to-date battle system. But we're also missing more than half of the Pokemon that we have today. 493, only 493, huh. Interesting. Anyone in the crowd know that number? What's that number? That's right, that's the number of Pokemon that were in the original Diamond and Pearl. ILCA's gone and done what we in the know like to call a faithful remake. And you know the thing about a faithful remake? That's not what anyone wants. Or at least that's not what anyone in the Pokemon community had an expectation for. Because in the past, what we've gotten is beautiful pillars of expansion, reimagination, modernization. I did them in the wrong order, but you know them. Like, BDSP completely shits the bed in the reimagination sector. It looks like doggy doo-doo poo-poo pee-pee. And you know, it's based nearly exactly off the original Diamond and Pearl tile set, which is just nearly universally considered worse than the Platinum tile set. Like Jubilife City looks way better than Platinum. I don't know why they did this shit. It's exactly the same in terms of route design, scale of everything, layout, town design. It's exactly the same. They did kind of fix the grass color from the original games, and the water is kind of glittery and shiny now, I guess, but that's it. Apart from that, it's exactly the same. Even the new music is hardly as much of an upgrade as the other remakes had over their originals. And before the first day patch, this is what the music sounded like. This is funny. Bruh. I wouldn't even arrange a song with instruments like that for your mum, all right? I would use better virtual instruments and better sound fonts, because I'm looking to impress. I mean, expansion is probably the biggest offender here. There is no expansion, only reduction and replacement. Okay, there's a tiny bit of expansion, but like, it's minuscule. Remember the Distortion World? That's gone. Remember the Battle Frontier? That's gone too.
Oh, Patrick, but these were Platinum features. They're not meant for the original Diamond and Pearl.
Shush, fool. It's a remake. Heart Gold Soul Silver, it had a bunch of crystal features. It had Eugene Suicune, all right? That's a whole crystal storyline. They managed to fit that into the game. No Giratina, no Distortion World. I know, disgusting. No, Heart Gold managed to fit everything in from crystal and new stuff. You didn't need the Pokeathlon. There's nothing like that in BDSP. It's just worse. There's not even the Wi-Fi games anymore.
Oh, but they added Romanus Park and they added the Underground.
Shush. Romanus Park is honestly a downgrade from having what Gen 4 is known for, which is those static mythical encounters and legendary encounters. This is just mid. This is so mid. It's some random fucking park where you put stone GBA cartridges into another random stone, and then you get teleported to a random place that's completely disconnected from the world, and then you just fight with random legendary Pokemon so you can catch them. It kind of like takes the whole world building out of it. At least with the overworld of static encounters, there's like a reason they're there, or they're like part of the world. This is just like GBA, stone GBA things should not be in the game. That's like fourth wall breaking, but not funny and not clever, so it's not good. It just seems like a lazy way to implement this feature. They could have put the tiniest bit of thought into it. Can't lie though, the underground change was pretty good. Back in the day, it was a pretty boring, barren place where you could just have your little secret base and mine. But now there's like overworld encounters, which is new for Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, but it's also the kind of thing where they designed 4 or 5 different locations and they just are kind of like set up slightly differently and scattered around. And it's not that fun of a gameplay feature. You have to grind it really hard to get all the Pokemon. It's cool and novel and visually cool for the first like hour, but then it just kind of sucks. You know, it's a sort of novel thing that keeps your interest for a bit, but then it just, I don't know. It doesn't feel like a cool feature with lots of depth. And the community saw all of this. BDSP saw some of the most intense community outrage I think the franchise has ever seen. If it wasn't for Pokemon Legends Arceus coming down the line 4 months later to sort of stoke the coals of this outrage with Sinnoh remakes, I honestly think it would have done tons of damage to Pokemon's like game brand reputation. You know, BDSP is everything a remake shouldn't be if you want it to be loved by the Pokemon community and be a good game. We love these games as a Pokemon community, but you set the bar back in 2009. That's what we expect. So don't come crying to me when your brand reputation slides off a cliff. So I'm sure you can see now, these 3 pillars of Pokemon remakes are the heart and soul of what makes a Pokemon remake good. Take even one away or mis-execute completely on even one, and you'll see your remake will become a big, stinking BDSP level flop. The community is going to criticize it endlessly, and your mum is going to be incredibly disappointed in the Pokemon company as well as you, which we can't have because I'm visiting her later and I need her to be in a good mood. So looking into the future then, a little birdie, little Chinese mentally stable birdie has told me that Unova remakes are coming up over the horizon. So let's use this knowledge of the pillars to make really good Pokemon remakes to see what we can do with Gen 5, what Gen 5 might hold for us, what we hope it holds for us. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to blue ball you on this one. I gotta get back to your mom. I mean, she's waiting for me. What can I do? What can a man do? You understand, it's fine, it's fine. But make sure you stay tuned for my next installment, Pokemon Remakes, The Future, where I get into the nitty gritty of what a really good Unova remake could look like using everything we've learned today. So make sure you like and subscribe for that one, gamers. If not, I will text your mum. Hopefully she'll let you know, but I don't know if we're at that level yet. Well, that's all from me. Peace be with you and your mum. To the gates.